Memorizing code is absolutely a really bad idea. I'm not talking because I have watched a video or I have read a blog post, but all of this is based on my own experience. Back then, when I started to code, I had this idea that if I memorize code, it will stick in my mind and I will know basically everything. But I was a little bit wrong. The reason for that is simply because you don't need to. It's pretty simple. When I started, we didn't have a lot of resources like now. You didn't have really people or blog posts or videos or things like that that will really teach you how you should handle things. I thought that memorizing things was a really good idea. I'm talking about around, I think, 10 years ago or 12. What I used to do is to learn the code, for example, from the website like Virtual School, and then take a blank editor page to start to write everything that I have learned from that page. You don't need to, simply because all this stuff you're going to learn it anyway. I mean, by experience, when you start to program, obviously the first days, weeks, months, you are not going to know everything or remember everything, but that is just fine. You don't have to. Little by little that you write always the same code, you are going to see that things tend to stick. And I mean, alhamdulillah, we have this amazing brain that little by little, when you have more and more experience, your brain starts to understand the patterns and starts to help you in the way that you use your brain. For example, if you are used to read documentation and then write that code, you will see that by experience will be more easy for you to pick up things and remember it in the days after without having to really take the time and memorize it. Memorizing, it takes your time and you're losing a lot of time because maybe the thing that you have just memorized, you don't really need it in the future, and you just have wasted your time. And that's the problem. You think that you are going to save time in the future, but it is the other way around. Basically, when you write code, a lot of things are similar, even between programming languages and concepts. Little by little, when you start to understand these concepts, things tend to stick more. For example, a for loop, at the beginning, you may not know exactly how you should write it, etc. But little by little, you write it 1, 2 times, 200 times. You are going to write it a lot. That's it. You are going at the end to remember it. Things related to that programming language or framework, you tend to pick it up easily when you start to have more experience. Another reason is you also don't know if you're going to use that programming language in the future or framework or anything that you're studying, because probably the next month, next year, you have to learn other things. If you use this method of memorizing, you are going to lose a lot of time. So the question is what you should do instead. You should gain more experience by creating things related to your field. For example, you can write more applications, websites, or anything that it is related. By gaining more experience and training a lot, you are going to see that you are more going to remember those things. And just to let you know, the majority of senior developers, they never memorize things, and there are still things that are basic and they still go up or try to search for it into internet because it is absolutely normal, and it is absolutely normal to forget things, and it is basically human.